aircraft built to train World War II military pilots to fly combat aircraft. GEICO Insurance assisted these pilots, and here they come overhead. Let's watch for the smoke. Larry Arkin's in the lead with all 5 other aircraft coming right overhead. Here comes GEICO Skytypers. This highlights one of the most basic formations taught to all military pilots. The 6 aircraft act as one, allowing large numbers of aircraft to fly through busy skies. The Delta formation has the flight leader at the front of him with his wingman and element flight leaders taking their positions behind them. As the aircraft perform today, let me introduce the pilots to you. Leading the flight, Larry Arkin with Steve Couture. At right wing is Jim Reckert. Left wing is Ron Steele. Slot position, Bob Johansson. The lead solo is Steve Salmers, and the wing solo is Tom Daly. We also want to recognize another key pilot on our team, Captain Joe Hansen. GEICO Insurance stands for Government Employees Insurance Company, which was established in 1936 to provide military members and general employees with the best insurance coverage. You might not be able to, I tell you what, as you see these aircraft, understand that they weigh 5,500 pounds each, and they use a 600 horsepower, 9-cylinder Pratt & Whitney radial engine. Now, as we release 2 pilots, watch them as they cross at show center right into each other's paths with the smoke on. The solos have crossed now, and they are setting up to clear the area behind them. Now, after identifying, they're looking at to find a bogey, which is an unidentified aircraft that may be a threat. And after identifying the threat as a bandit, the solos are now in position to demonstrate their next maneuver. The opposing solo 2-circle guns pass. When 2 aircraft engage in air-to-air maneuvering, they attempt to pass as close as possible to one another with 2 options. Maneuver for the advantage or escape to safety. Turning towards each other would put both aircraft in separate or 2 circles as each tries to outturn his opponent. Diving for energy now, they're inbound at over 320 miles per hour. They'll hitch up as they get close to one another and roll into each other, passing canopy to canopy, just 50 feet apart. Knife edge, there's the cross. As the solos clear, I want you to watch for the rest of the formation to the front and to the left of show center. They will show you another basic skill that is taught to our men and women in flight school, something known as a turning rejoin. You can see it right now. When aircraft are separated for some reason, such as with individual takeoffs, they need to get back together or rejoin to continue with the mission. The method they're using here is to have the lead make a turn and each of the wingmen turn inside him to fly a shorter distance. The pilots must know where each other is and how to maneuver their aircraft to get on board as quickly and as safely as possible. They're going to rejoin into the diamond formation. Now that they've rejoined, they're going to treat you to a diamond S or a snake pass. You'll get a good view of the aircraft and the formation as they wind their way in front of you, changing from belly up to canopy up. Flying these World War II aircraft requires an unusual set of skills. Skytyper pilots must be able to fly large tail-wheeled aircraft as well as being accomplished formation pilots. It's not always easy to find the right match, and the majority of the pilots here today are former Navy and Air Force pilots. That's the diamond formation. And the one aircraft is in the lead. The number 2 aircraft is on the right wing. 3 aircraft is on the left wing, and the slot pilot is number 4. Now, please focus your attention once again as the solos come head-to-head from the right and the left for the solo 1-circle guns pass. The difference between this and a 2-circle pass is that both aircraft will turn in the same direction. You can see them working their way in from the right and the left. They are lead solo Steve Salmers and wing solo Tom Daly. This type of air-to-air turning engagement is used when one aircraft has superior maneuvering ability or to take advantage of a mistake. Just prior to crossing, lead solo will pitch up and roll too early, allowing his opponent to fly high and behind him, an obvious advantage. Lead will then make another mistake and reverse course trying to escape. This only makes it easier for his attacker to maneuver into a gun's firing position, or as they say, at his 6 o'clock. There's the turn. Now watch as they get maneuvered here, and you will see Steve Salmers now in a bad position as Tom Daly maneuvers behind him at his 6 o'clock, or directly behind him. He's top popping smoke now, indicating a simulated guns firing on the aircraft in front. Now as he gets those guns going, we'll see some smoke coming out of the lead aircraft, Steve Salmers, as he acknowledges that he has been hit. Watch as the lead aircraft jinks back and forth to try to stay out of trouble. That wonderful growl you hear is not just the sound of the engine, but actually the sound of the propeller tips going supersonic at about 2,500 revolutions per minute. Now, if you will, look straight ahead for another formation change, although this one is very unique and demanding. The diamond you just witnessed a moment ago has gone from flat to vertical. The references the wingmen must use have changed. They now have to look almost straight up as lead once again becomes their world. Watch as the vertical diamond approaches, then peels off or breaks down the runway into a trail or one behind the other formation. Smoke on for the GEICO Skytypers. In the lead, Larry Arkin, right wing, Jim Record, left wing, Rob Steele, and slot, Bob Johansson. Here come the GEICO Skytypers once again. There's the break. One's out, two's out, that's the right wing, then 3, and then 4. Now, if you look again straight ahead, you will see the solos approaching for a simulated bomb run. To attack a target, you must sometimes stay low under radar coverage, fly to a point that's been pre-identified through map study, pull up sharply to acquire the target, and then gain enough altitude to drop your bombs. Oh, and that's not all. Different climb angles and attack directions help confuse the gunners on the ground, so they stay low. Watch them. They do what is called a pop-up maneuver. You will see the 2 solo pilots, Steve Salmers and Tom Daly. There's the pop-up, and watch them roll in on the target. This is the Solos bomb run. The Solos will exit as a defensive team now, clearing their seats or directly behind them in search for the formation. In the military, a flight of 2 aircraft is the smallest element to fly. They provide mutual support for each other as well as while accomplishing other duties to complete the mission. Now off to the left, the lead has called for another formation as he maneuvers to bring all of his wingmen on board. You can see maintain, and the GEICO Skytypers are doing it very well. Larry Arkin, Jim Record, Rob Steele, Bob Johansson, Steve Salmers, and Tom Daly. The smoke is on now. Let's watch as they break in for the strafe run. 5,500 pounds each. These airplanes powered by a mere 600 horsepower Pratt & Whitney radial engine. Over 22,000 of these types of aircraft were built from 1939 to 1945. Exiting to your left, flight lead will reform the squadron with yet another rejoin, only this time into the GEICO Skytyper band formation. Today, these aircraft have taken on a new role of writing giant messages in the sky, which they call skytyping. And I believe you saw these messages and were treated to them, welcoming you to the air show. Each letter is as tall as the Empire State Building. The J is flown by the Navy, the same airplane called the T-6, the AT-6, Advanced Trainer 6 by the Air Force. The Royal Air Force and Royal Canadian Air Force called it the Harvard. But today, we call these the GEICO Skytypers. Stand by for smoke on and ready break. Here comes the fan pass. opportunity to place these magnificent World War II icons indelibly in your minds and cameras. Bob Gardner meets your family at Jumbotron South. These aircraft are operated most of the year in the New York metro area and are based in Farmingdale, New York at Republic Airport on Long Island. The men responsible for keeping these vintage aircraft in such fine shape are the Skytypers aircraft mechanics Ed Dietrich, Victor Jimenez, Kun Lu, and Randy Kreutzer. If you like friendly light paraffin-based oil that's approved by the FAA and injected into the exhaust stacks of these engines. And it's used in the concrete forming industry and keeps the forms from sticking to the concrete. Ladies and gentlemen, from the right, keep your eyes on the GEICO Skytypers. Let's give them a nice round of applause as they break for landing with number 1, Larry Andrews. Number 2, the slot pilot, there's Bob Johansson. Number 5, Steve Salmers is up. And number 6, Tom Daly pitches up. And there you have them, the GEICO Skytypers. Now, as the GEICO Skytypers reset, I want to introduce you to a gentleman who flew a little bit earlier today, and